In the early 1920s, there was a literary group that met for lunch at the Algonquin Hotel in New York City. Composed of writers, journalists, critics, and artists, the group called themselves the Round Table because of the dining table that they gathered around 6 days a week for several years. These were some of the brightest minds in the city. One day, a challenge was issued by one of the members in attendance who claimed he could write an entire story in only 6 words. Scoffing in disbelief, the other members laughed him off until he told them to pony up. He dared each of them to put $10 into the middle of the table, and if he succeeded, he would keep the money. If he failed, then he would match all of their bets and pay them each $10. Thinking it impossible, they all agreed and piled their money in the center of the table. He scrawled his story down on a napkin and passed it around to the group. One by one, each member in attendance slumped back in their seat, astonished and perplexed. He had won the bet and took all of his winnings. His story, scribbled in hasty, misshapen letters, read as follows. For sale, baby shoes, never worn. This author's name was Ernest Hemingway, and although this is a great story, it is unsubstantiated and has never actually been confirmed. It is merely a rumor, attributed to Hemingway because of his penchant for brevity and terse style of writing. But that doesn't necessarily discredit an important fact. This story exists. If you were to analyze these 6 words for their dramatic structure on the Freytag pyramid, they would land somewhere right about the climax. For sale would be the rising action, baby shoes would be the climax, and never worn would be the falling action. This story omits the introduction and conclusion, and that is part of the reason why I think that it is so successful. Its strength lies in what it infers. Everything that it doesn't say is where the story is told. Who is selling the shoes? Why did the baby never wear them? As grown adults, we understand that there is a melancholia underlying the story. Even without knowing the details, we know that something has happened. Why sell the shoes? Why not give them to a friend or a charity? Shoes, according to their purpose, are made to be worn. If someone is getting rid of these shoes, then they no longer need that purpose fulfilled. It can therefore be assumed that something has happened to the baby. At the same time, there is no reason to assume that this is the case at all. It is entirely possible that the person selling the shoes bought 2 pairs by mistake and is looking to recoup their losses. That's the interesting thing. It's up to the reader to draw their own conclusion. This story is one of the first documented instances of something called flash fiction. One of the unique qualities of flash fiction is that it has the literary ability to hint at or imply a larger story. There is even a category of flash fiction called the 6-word story, in celebration of the story For Sale, Baby Shoes, Never Worn. Writers from all different backgrounds often take a shot at telling some really interesting stories with only 6 words. Here are some of my favorites. Machine. Unexpectedly, I'd invented a time. Computer. Did we bring batteries? Computer? Gown removed carelessly. Head, less so. Automobile warranty expires. So does engine. With bloody hands, I say goodbye. It costs too much, staying human. I'm your future, child. Don't cry. The baby's blood type? Human, mostly. Tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tick. Easy. Just touch the match too. And that's really how easy it is to become a storyteller. All it takes is 6 words and some creativity. I feel like there's a big misconception with writing that if you spend your time crafting stories, people assume that you want to be a published author or a famous writer because why else would you do it? I think this is nonsensical. If you go and play basketball with your friends, would anyone judge you for having fun? Would you hear anyone say, "Oh, you're not going to try to become a pro NBA player? Then why play basketball at all?" You do it because you enjoy doing it. Remember, you don't have to be a professional at something to enjoy it. You don't have to be Ernest Hemingway to like writing. It's okay to do things just because they're fun. It's fine to write stories for yourself that no one will ever read. I talk about animation all of the time, and I can barely draw a stick figure, but I still love discussing it. Of course, if you want to see if your writing is any good, you will eventually need to share it with others. One of the goals of this channel is to discuss storytelling techniques so that we can become better storytellers ourselves. So if you're interested, leave your 6-word story down below and let's discuss them. Here's mine. We awoke, some less than before. I'll write it down in the comment section as well. Let me know what you think. This video is sponsored by my merchandise. I've come up with some fun designs that you can check out, like the Life is Daijobu or the Joel Lies a Lot design based on The Last of Us. There's also the Malou classic logo. I recommend this bad boy if you've got a job interview or a first date lined up and you really need to seal that deal. I'll be adding new designs to the store in the future as well, so check back soon for even more storytelling merch. Link is down in the description. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I have to give a huge thank you to the patrons who made this video possible. If you would like to support the channel directly and get your name in the credits of the next project, head on over to my Patreon. I'm Malou, and I will see you storytellers in the next video.